Hi, my name is Ilya Winter, and this is another modeling follow-along. Today we are doing another crown for my Etsy full of crowns, and this one is from a character called King Ludo, which is from a show called Star versus the Forces of Evil, I believe. I want to say that I got this as a request to make for my shop, but the truth is I just got the idea from somebody who was looking for a quote. Don't know if the order is going to come through or not, but it looked cool, and I did a little bit of research on the show. It seems like it's good fun, so I decided to make it anyway, and we'll see what happens. Fits my shop style, and yeah, so let's get right to it. This should be fairly simple, I think. All right, so let's start with this basic circle. I measured my head. Obviously this is going to be, oh wait, what's going on here? Yeah. This is going to be made for different size heads, or in general, so I might do a little bit of sizing afterwards, but for now I'm just gonna make it this size. Also, it's weird because nobody's head is perfectly round, so it's always kind of interesting to see how these are gonna work out. But the nice thing about printing in PLA, or just 3D printing in general, is that if there needs to be some kind of adjustment, whether it's width or length or whatever, you can always just get a heat gun, or even just like it's like a hair dryer or something, and kind of bend it a little bit. But for the most part, if I was making this for a customer, I'd probably ask them to take a head measurement just to make sure, and then just size it up or down based on the measurement that they give me. So let's see. So his crown kind of has this middle part. It also has like a little dingle bop thing at the end of this this gem housing, I guess I'm gonna call it. I don't know. Actually, it looks a little bit thicker. Let's see. Let's make it 5 for now. Ooh, that looks like it might be a little bit much. Let's try 4. But as this is something that we might want to change later, I'm going to automatically add a user parameter. So we're going to call it crown thickness. Let's add it at 4 millimeters. And let's actually make that right there. So if we need to change it later, it's kind of an easy, smooth fix. Great. So starting at this weird location viewpoint wise, because it actually, when you save it regular, then you have to when you pull it into a slicer program later, you have to or change the orientation of it. So I've just been starting to do this. I know it's like a weird workaround, but I haven't figured out a more efficient way of doing it yet, so I'm just doing it this way. All right, so this looks like it's tall enough, I think. Let's construct not an offset plane, but a tangent plane. Or actually, no, let's do it doesn't really matter, because I'm going to be grabbing it off of this anyway, so yeah, I don't need to waste time trying to angle the tangent plane. Alright, let's do a sketch. Now let's just do a line for now. So, however, yeah, this is going to be annoying. We'll see. Alright, so we're sketching on here right now. I'm just creating a construction line because I know that I'm going to want to mirror the design so that I'm not doing the work twice, and so that it's actually exact. But yeah, so create that middle construction line. I'm going to pop that off, and let's see. Just move this to here for now. It's so cartoony and like lopsided, but I'm not going to make it that way. All right, here we go. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just think I'm just going to go in with the lines. Again, I think I'm going to pick an average kind of construction line just to go across like that. And then we're going to pop off construction and actually start making it. So the reason I made this line is to kind of have a base as to where all of these little spikes are going to end at the bottom. And I know it kind of looks like it curves up, but once I make it, I guess, and we make the cut, we'll see how, like, or rather what that's going to look like. So, all right, let's, I don't want to make it too thin, so I'm going to do that. Nope, still, I think that's too thin in my opinion. Or not. I don't know. Let's see. And let's do a spline. Starting from here. Okay. I'm going to cut that spline off so we get a nice sharp corner. We're going to fillet it afterwards, obviously, but we do want that sharp corner for now. You see, so that's why I drew the construction line before, is basically to have an end point. Alright, so now that I have these sections, I'm probably going to modify them a little bit, make sure they fit where I want them. I do think that overall I want it bigger, which also probably means taller a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the sketch for now, and then take this extrusion and take it up to 100. Right? Does that work? Okay, so I think it automatically took that up with it, did it? Yeah, looks like it, because it was sitting on the projection line. It's very convenient, unintentional, but very convenient. Okay, so there's that. I feel like this is a little bit higher, which means we can bring all of these. Actually, I like the shape of that, so I'm going to bring this a little bit over. Yep. And just, oh. There we go. It's getting there. It's not quite there yet. Definitely want these to be a little bit taller as well. And I'm trying to decide whether or not I want this to go all the way to the end here. But I can kind of see even in the photo that there's a little part of the crown that comes out on both sides. So that's kind of what I was worried about. But now that I took a closer look at the photo, I can see that that's going to be a-okay. So I'll just make sure that these curves are nice. That looks pretty good. I like how they gradually increase. Oh, hello. It's looking pretty good to me. So, I'm going to create a... oh, that's annoying. Okay, so I'm going to make a line right here. And then, let's see. Now I'm going to mirror all of these objects. So I'm actually going to remove this body, and then mirror, take that, mirror line across here. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. So now since we want to make that cut, let me undo that. Since we want to make that a cutout, I'm going to quickly make this a profile by adding some lines up here. Okay, I'm going to pop the body back into place and use this to, boom, make a cut. There we go. That is a great start. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. So, since we only need this on one side, oh, that is not, oh, I already don't like this. Let me change this to free orbit real quick. There we go. So, since we kind of, ooh, but see, yeah. So it makes it interesting over here because it doesn't, it kind of makes the cut all the way around. So from the side, starts looking a little funky. Because it takes off more material. In that case, I might want to I don't mind it so much, actually. Because we could make a cut, or rather, like a tangent plane for each of these little spikes. And then just place a cut across. That's another way of doing it. But I don't actually mind that look, to be honest. And I'm going to be rounding, like I'm going to be flattening the edges anyway, so I don't think it's going to have that great of an effect. And once you see the final result, I think you'll agree with me. So let's just work with it the way it is for now. So what we need to do is get rid of this, right? So I guess we could just do this. I was going to make a cut across this way, but now that I think about it, I can just use this as a splitting tool. And then just cut it. And then remove one of these. And then trying to think if we might want it a little bit bigger, because his proportions are a little bit more cartoony. Let's see. Although, let's see what this looks like. This is how much? This was 100, right? So if we get our trusty little measure out 100 millimeters. Our trusty little caliper. See if it's sitting like this. 100 millimeters is pretty tall, I have to say. So maybe we don't even need to do anything. Cause that looks pretty cartoony if it's sticking up off the top of your head this way. It looks pretty good to me. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Whoa, did it say something about a non-manifold edge? What was that? Let's do a combine real quick. Yep, and then let's start seeing what we can do here. See what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be making all of these curved. So the fact that they're not exactly, you know, cut from an angle, it doesn't really affect, I think, it's not really going to affect their final, the way that they look. So let me just play around with the size to see what's going to look good here. I don't think 3 is going to even work, so let's do maybe 1.5. Or 2 looks like it was kind of exactly where I want it to be, so cool. So let me see if we can do that across the board. Nice, that's clean. There we go. Now let's see what we can do here. This side might be a little bit trickier because it's already cut up, I could tell, into all of these lines. So this might be a little bit time consuming, but it's okay. Ooh, is that all the way down? Yeah, that's all the way down. So let's see. 1, 2. Ooh, 2 to 2. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the rounded edge. Just like that. Now here's the problem. After doing all these fillets, also this digs into beneath the cut of that, which I'm not too happy about, which means we might have to bring them up past that line. Or, actually, now that I think about it, we can bring... Oh, I already regret doing that. Okay, yeah, or what we could do is we could bring not all of them down, but bring just the edges down. So if we can maybe remove this Nope, not that, not the right one, not the right one. Okay, so this one. So, yeah, you see how we're moving it down below? That way, it's cool because I actually wanted to bring this up anyway and make the whole band a little bit skinnier. But this way, what happens is once we apply that fillet and it digs down and makes a crease kind of in the actual band, it's not going to draw past the bottom of the line here, or we can make it stop somewhere close. Essentially, I don't think it needs to be this far down, but we'll see. At the very least, I think it'll look a little bit better. So these little things, I think that overall make the model come together a little bit more. So okay, that looks good. That looks good. All right, let's see how that looks. So now we're going to move the timeline back to where it is. There we go. Okay, great. So interesting. Yeah. So let's do that now. Let's get rid of these sketches. Let's grab all of these edges. I don't think we need to. If we're just filleting, it does that automatically. And then let's try. Oh, not 23. Let's try 2. See, it automatically rounds the top edge too, so if you accidentally headbutt somebody, it doesn't scrape their entire face off, which is nice. And you see what I'm saying? Look at that. Look at that. It's just approaching the bottom line here, and that is exactly what we want. Because I can tell by looking at this little cartoon picture that they're just above that line, and that's kind of the effect that we're getting here. So I'm actually very happy with the way that looks. So what I'm going to do is restart the fillet and grab all of these edges and hope that Fusion 360 is just going to be like, hey, no problem, buddy. So let's do 2. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Brilliant. That looks good. I like the way that looks. So we have that down. Right? And now we are going to basically do the same thing, except for this middle diamond piece. Right? So let's see. Let's just do it and see what it looks like. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like the way that looks. Although here's my other issue, right? Whenever we make something on a curved surface like this, like I'm gonna have to make this diamond and basically put it on, right? But we took the cut out of a curved surface. So whatever I'm gonna be putting on here, it's going to be along a curved surface, which makes it very, very, or not very, very, but much more difficult. So what I could do is I can cut it off and redraw the crown from kind of like a flat, off of a flat plane, which is an option, I guess, but I feel like that might kind of disturb the flow of the crown. I think it's going to look a little bit more natural if it's on a curve. So what we might have to do is just draw a straight cutout of it, as far as we can into the material here, so that we can glue kind of like a straight back gem into it. But that also just means, I mean, we can always just reinforce, I was going to reinforce that a little bit back here too, just so that, again, if you headbutt somebody, now you might not scrape their face off, but you also don't want to break your crown in the process. So don't headbutt. Also, don't headbutt people. That's bad, unless you're in some kind of headbutt competition, in which case, headbutt away. Although this might be a little bit dangerous. But that's okay. Like I said, there's that little hanger, little looks like an upside down droplet thing that actually sticks out of the top. But I don't think I'm gonna model it, because that's one of those things that's just gonna instantly break off as soon as you put the crown down, or it falls or something. So we don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna add a little hole into the top, and then print it separately and attach it via like a little wire that's actually going to go down into this, and that's a little bit of extra work, but it's these little touches, I think, that overall is going to make the crown a little bit more durable and just increase its lifespan. And that's just the kind of thing I like to do. I like to think of the longevity of it as well. Okay, so we have that piece. I'm just going to go ahead and apply fillets for these because I'm going to do it anyway. I might as well do it now. There, 2 across the board. Right, there we go. It is straight in the cartoon, so I might actually not make it 2. I might make, let's see what it looks like when it's like this. It's like 1 or even 0.5. Yeah, that might be a little bit better. A little bit more accurate. Cool. So now let's see what we could do with this part right here. Again, I'm going to do a offset plane. I just don't want to draw on the same one as I did before. Let's extend it past right here. Then I'm going to sketch. Ooh, let's see if we could just project it onto this. Right. Nope. There we go. Project this, 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 this. Stop sketch. Did it work? Did it work? Did it not work? Okay, well, then let's project this then. Okay. Let's remove this. Let's take this. Can we do break link? So it removes, break link removes all of the projection constraints, essentially. And now that we have that, I want to see if I could do an offset of these, just because I want it at the same, want the diamond at the same angle. So let's see if we can do that. Okay. I wonder if it'll let me. It won't let me offset. I'll have an offset, or will it? Will you be nice? But here's the other thing: the diamond doesn't extend past the bottom, and it's more symmetrical than this, isn't it? Yep. So we're just gonna draw it. That's fine. So we're not gonna do that. Take that back. We are going to just draw it, which is perfectly fine. Okay, so drawing on this. Bit above the bottom. Make it a little bit lower. I want the gem to be quite chunky, actually. Interesting. Okay, so maybe I want to edit this a little bit and lower, do something like that. There we go. So this will be the size of our gem, but we do want to make the cut a little bit bigger, so I'm going to make an offset, just a tiny, tiny, tiny little one. So maybe like 0.3, maybe 0.5. Because the idea is if you're inserting a gem, you're going to put like a couple of layers of paint and possibly some resin or whatever it is that you may want to add to make it like really lustrous and really stand out. So so you want to leave space for that. Otherwise, you're gonna pop it off the print bed. You're gonna put it in. You're gonna be like, oh my god, this fits so well. And then you're gonna spend all the time painting it. And then because it added like 0.5 or 0.4 millimeters, with all of the coats of paint and stuff, it's all of a sudden not going to fit. And then once you force it in, it's just going to scrape the outer layer of paint off, and you're going to be like, why did I spend all that time? It's something that I've done multiple times before, and now I just make sure to make everything make sure that the space is a little bit bigger. It's just good practice is what it is. So I'm going to add, I'm going to do a 0.4, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to add resin onto here and not just paint, because this is a nice big gem. I want it to really like pop. So let's, no, not that. There we go. And then let's pop this body in. And let's see how far we can cut it. Let's see if we're going to need to, here. That actually looks pretty good. Let's maybe do 7.5. Or even, that's actually not bad at all. I'm glad I made it 4 millimeters. There's enough meat there that it'll still stay rigid, I think, even with the cutout, which is nice. Okay, so that's done. What's next? Let me pop the sketch off just so I can see what's going on here. Yeah, I like it. So now we actually have to make the gem, right? I guess we could just grab, nope, can't grab that. Remember, we made the cutout for a reason. Yeah, so let's just grab it off of this sketch since we already made that size. Right? I already regret making that move in the beginning, because now I have to make 1,000 adjustments instead of that one in the slicer. So that's just great. Not doing that again. Okay, so there we go. Let's see how far we want it to pop out. Add another parameter. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong extrude. Oh, no, wait, what am I doing? not the cut, not the cut. This. Oh, that's right, I did it right after, okay. Gem thickness, yay. Okay, so there we go. So we have that. And do we want the gem kind of? Yeah, let's since the crown is mainly curves, and I think it looks really nice with the curves actually. But since the crown is curves, let's make the gem with chamfers. Chamfers. I think that's going to be a nice kind of contrast between sharp and round, and I think overall that's going to, I think that's going to look great. So let's see how deep we want these. Oop, not too deep. Oh man, I think that looks really good. Although I do think it might be a little bit too deep. Let's see. Because we do have that little bit of extra space that it is going to stick out of. I think that's good. Let's get rid of this sketch. Oh man, I like that. Yeah, I think that's really cool. All right, so we have that done. Now let's add the little thing on top, right? So this is going to be kind of interesting. Let's pop that origin back into view. Grab an offset plane. Just like that. Okay. And then we are going to draw a circle on that offset plane, right? That we just created. We're going to draw the circle right in the center right here. Now this is perfect, I think. Let me see if I have any of this wire, just so I can see. Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Have a sample. Oh, yep. Perfect. Yeah, this is I'm making some racing gates for my drone, but I would be using the same wire, so I just want to measure to see the hole that I need to make, and it looks like a 2mm hole will be just right. The wire's closer to 1.6, but I'm gonna make it 2, just because. You can even make it a little bit bigger. Honestly, I'm almost thinking that I should. So that I can also use a slightly thicker wire, but something that I could always adjust later. And 2 seems like it's a pretty good number right here, so let's make a little cut into here. Let's see how deep we want to make that. And 10, no, 10 seems like might be a little weak, on the weaker side, so let's see. I think we should make it just as deep as this. Let's see if we can pull off 15. Just 15? No, you know what? Yeah, 13, it's a little bit unlucky. 12! Perfect. Nice, nice number off the top there. Just take that off a little bit, and I'm actually going to go ahead and probably see what happens when I fillet this a little bit. See if it's going to even want to do that for starters. See, it keeps being sharp. So before I make the cut, actually, I'm going to take the timeline back and remove this a little bit, see if I could fillet that. See what that looks like. Yeah, perfect. Get it to nice and even, and then I'm going to bring the timeline back so that it makes the cut. There we go. So now we have something to attach the little teardrop thing. And now that we have that, I'm actually going to make the teardrop itself, right? So we're going to grab the plane that we just made, right? That's what we're going to make the shape on. And we're just going to quickly add a little quad ball. And we are going to make it right here, right? There we go. And then, let's see. Yep, I think that might be a little bit too big. So let's do it maybe at 4 millimeters. Yeah, a little 4 millimeter quad ball. Oh, let's try 4.5. Just because it might look a little bit better when it's printed slightly larger, right? So now we have this. Let's kind of move it first because I want it to be a little bit higher here. And now let's grab it and let's go to edit form. And then I want to make this, I'm going to grab these 4 faces. Actually, yeah, I'm going to add some internal symmetries first. Add that one, and then add this one, just in case. And then what I want to do is edit these forms, take them down slightly, edit these planes right here. These, what are they called? Faces. Yeah, thank you. So that even might be a little bit too small, but that's okay because we can always just increase it like that. Let's bring it up a little bit. Let's bring this down. Something's off about it for me. I'm not sure what. Oh, there we go. I think that makes it look a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. I like that. I like the way that looks. Actually, that might be a little bit better. You know, I think it's even a little bit bigger. And if it's going to sit kind of right off the top, then I think it needs to be. See, that makes it asymmetrical. Or rather, no, it's still symmetrical, but that makes, or yeah, it doesn't have circular symmetry. I don't know if you want to call that radial symmetry or whatever, all the way around. But I feel like it looks better than when it's larger than the actual shape of the crown. Maybe we could find a compromise. I would probably prefer if it did have radial symmetry. So, let's see if I can find a nice, happy little sweet spot where it'll sit and kind of vibe with the overall look. I think that looks really good. I think we're getting there. Now, here's the other thing, is if it's just attached, it looks like it's two separate things, but we might be able to pull something off where I use this body as a tool to kind of cut into the other body. So let's see if this works. We're going to do a combine and basically essentially do a Boolean cut. We're going to keep tools, of course, because we still want to use this, right? So it'll be just like that. And now when we remove this, it's going to have a little cutout that the other piece should just fit right in. And then that way, it's gonna look like it's got like a more flowy type look. Where it looks like it's one piece. Although in that case, I do want it to be a little bit bigger, I think. So let's once again this piece is taking longer than the entire crown, of course, but it's all in the details, I think. So I think with this kind of cosplay work, it really is all in the details. And in the end, that's what's going to separate this crown from certain other ones. It's just going to make it stand out a little bit better anyway. Maybe even a deeper cutout, something like this. So then this is what it would look like if it was attached, and then there we go. Yeah, I think that looks really good. Let's add some color to this. Let's try, let's just do gold. Why not? Crown is gold. Let's make it gold. Let's do metal, gold polished, of course. There we go. Nice. And then, let's do opaque. What is it, a pink? Yeah, so I guess let's do a glossy red, and then we can modify the color to make it kind of like a pinkish, right? Since that's what it's supposed to be. Ooh, we can even kind of make it glass or something, but for now, I think I'm just going to leave it like this. Nice. Okay, so we have that. Now, let's see what the gem's going to look like once it's actually seated, right? So, forgot to make that piece gold. Yeah. So let's just pull that onto there. Nice. And now, let's let's move this, right? And now let's do, let's get rid of the canvas. Let's change this to, yep. Let's align. We're going to align that to that. Okay. Oh, I really like that. Yeah. I like that it kind of peeks out. You can tell that the gem is straight even though the crown is curved. The one thing I think that we should modify is this outer area. I think we should give it a little fillet because right now it's just sharp, straight edges. So just like that. Let's do maybe a 1. Maybe even less, maybe 0.5 would be good. Because I don't want it, I don't want to go crazy on it. I don't want it to be like a feature of the crown. I just don't like to leave edges sharp, especially on something that's so forward facing and is so important to the design. So yeah, I like that. This actually looks like there might be a little bit too much space right here. To seat the gem. I actually think I might make that offset a little bit smaller. Let me see if we can that's not the right sketch. Point 3. Let's do that. Let's get all the way here. There we go. All right. So the one thing that I did forget to do is to take this, right? So let's get rid of this, and then let's grab that same sketch, right, that we have right here. Let's grab this profile. Come on. And let's extrude it to 2 sides. And we're going to extrude it down. And we're going to extrude it up all the way through, or most of the way through. So that we can use that to put the wire through. Yeah, so we're definitely going to do that. And then another thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab an offset plane. Let's see. Grab it off of this profile again. And I'm going to bring it right up here. And I'm actually going to take off incremental move. So I want to bring it all the way down to the bottom. Then I'm going to split my body, right, according to this. And the reason why I'm doing that is I want a nice flat surface. And even though this is super tiny, I'm going to print this thing with a raft. So the reason being is, actually I might even make that a little bit tall, a little bit higher, just so I have a little bit more purchase. Yep, that's fine. The reason is, if I print it on any other way, the lines it's just not going to look as good than if you print it standing up, because that's where your layer height affects, like, you know, stuff on the side is always going to look better than stuff on your top of the print. So it's just the most effective way to print it, in my opinion, since we are doing a 2-piece situation, kind of. Yeah, and there we go. Oh, I think that looks really, really good. Yeah. I like the way that looks. Oh, well, render with no lighting. Yeah, why not? um, Let me just add a little bit of, where's other? Opaque, not plastic, other, emissive. Just grab a random, ooh, OLED setting. I don't know why would anyone need that? Also, where are all the regular ones? What is happening? My appearances. Why are there no regular emissives here? Is it doing a live update? Weird. Can't do any emissives here. Bummer. That's weird. Can I add emission to a regular one? Let's see, plastic. Let's put this here. Advanced. Emissivity. Oh, let's add some. Okay. Let's add that. That might be too bright, but we'll see. Render. Just like that. Ah! There we go. So I think that was a pretty good, successful little model. Yeah, I like the way that the crown looks. Excited to see how it prints. I don't really see any complications. And then I'm excited to see what it looks like actually on my head. So there's definitely going to be a little bit of sizing involved, but overall I think that was pretty nice. I'm happy with the way it came out. Yeah, so that's that. Thanks for watching. My name's Ilya Winter. That's it for today. Stay creative.